Hi, folks. Welcome to MTS. It's been a busy summer, but I was able to finish up a project that had been in my head for quite a while. I wanted to expand my train layout. However, I didn't want to expand outward. I went vertical. I was able to get a really good deal from my local hobby shop on two LED pre-lit MTH Rail King steel arch bridges and two girder bridges, also with the white LED lights. I knew I wanted to stay with Lionel's fast track and had enough to construct a tri-oval. Using Lionel rolling stock boxes, I was able to get a feel about how this new level would come together. I rigged up a drill bit and taped to the side of a black Sharpie, then traced the pattern on the hardboard. I took pictures, then deconstructed and reconstructed sections on the floor in my basement. I had some leftover hardboard from another project from a few years ago. I also knew I wanted a half-inch outside of the fast track. Now, it was time for cutting out these sections. I just used a standard jigsaw with a wood blade to cut them out. After cutting, I needed to clean off the edges and just use a 3M foam sanding block to achieve this result. I'll put a list of tools and materials I use in the description box below. Next, it's time to build the pylons. I found a piece of 2x4 and trimmed off the two edges at 45 degrees using a table saw. Using my miter saw, I cut these into 1 3/8 lengths to accommodate for the dowel rods. I needed the overall height to be at 11 7/8 with two shorter pieces around the mountain. Next was the support sections. I was able to find this plastic molding at Menards. It was flexible, yet rigid enough for proper support. I used my braid nailer to fasten to the hardwood. Be sure to follow manufacturer specs for safety and allotted drying times. The braid I was using in the nailer was a little longer than needed to be, so I used a small hammer to bend over the excess. Couple coats of black primer out of the rattle can, we're good to go. I am really excited about how this has ended up coming together. Don't get me wrong, there were a lot of learning opportunities along the way. One such instance was the pylons under the bridges. Uh, there was a 3/8 inch extra support under the bridges. I had to trim 3/8 off the pylons for the bridges to keep it level at 11 and 7/8. Another instance was the constant back and forth trimming the sections to make sure that the fast track connected correctly. Here you can see how the top of the pylon and how it fits into the channel. While I'm putting this together, I am also planning on how I am going to run my wiring. I opted to use a Lionel CW80 transformer as I could have track power and a constant voltage to operate the LED lights and the blinking lights on the bridge. Here I'm taking an extra long drill bit just to account for the space that I need. So it's a really handy tool to have when working on these arch bridges. Yep, that's level. I also had to engineer a couple supports using 1-bys to allow for the trains to run under the new level. I found a couple old Lionel girder sections to add a little more to that look I was going for on one of those sections. Another cool effect I was able to come up with was using black straws, the black bendable straws, to simulate gutters while hiding the wires running under the layout. Still, the circuit boards used to operate the blinking lights and LED are very visible. I was able to hide the wires for the most part, but let me know in the comments how you would hide the circuit boards in this case. I was thinking of a small plank cut to size, then painted to match the pylon, make it more of a blind. Curious on your thoughts there. After this is in place, we'll just take the hot glue to secure it to the pylon. I soldered extension wires to ensure I had plenty of slack to work on under the layout. Then used wire nuts to connect 18 gauge wires to the four connections, then back to the CW80. Be sure to keep track of the positive and negative wiring throughout this process. Now comes the moment of truth. It was about 1 a.m. when I did the first test run. Could not be more pleased with how this turned out. The lighting is just really amazing. I can't wait to run the Polar Express on it during the holidays. We'll see more of this latest edition in some new unboxing videos I've got planned for. I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe picked up a couple ideas to help you with your next model train project. Thanks for watching. I'll see you down the line.